Hi guys, in this video I am going to explain King Arthur Legend of the Sword movie. At the beginning of the movie story it is stated that the world consisted of two humans, one of whom was human and the other of whom was a magician. The king of the magicians starts a war between ordinary humans. He uses his magical creatures, monsters and weapons in this war. Due to it, ordinary humans can't face him, and the magician's king defeats everyone one by one. Then he faces the king. Uther and his army was also about to be defeated. Uther has a magical sword and the king can't resist in front of the sword. He was defeated, his powers were nothing in front of the sword, and then the war was ended. After some days Uther's brother goes against him because he wants to be the king. He makes his army attack his brother, and he knows his powers are nothing in front of the sword that his brother had. After it, his brother sacrifices his wife and changes into a demon. The king Uther has discovered all this while going with his wife and son. But the night demon arrives and ends Uther's wife, the queen. Then the king Uther sends his son far while making him sit in a boat. He starts fighting with the demon knight. The scene ends here and we feel like King Uther is dead. Uther's son is shown, who has reached London in a boat. A few ladies adopt him and take him to the orphan house. On another side, the brother of the king Uther has become the king and the tower was also rebuilding, from where the king of the magicians gets power, and Uther's brother also wants this power. That is why he was making the tower again. Uther's brother wasn't a magician, but he has spent his life's many years with magicians. He was learning the magic, and likewise 20 years have passed. His brother has become powerful and an evil king. Uther's son Arthur also has grown elder. His childhood was spent with thieves and robbers, so he was clever and wise. He used to help needy people and also used to do some illegal tasks. On another side, Uther's brother is shown and his tower has been completed. The stream near his castle has become dry, and his companions see a sword there. The sword was stabbed in a human made of stone. Many people were trying to take out the sword, but they couldn't. Even Uther's brother can't take it out. He summons a large number of people in his village and then asks them to try to take it out. On another side, Arthur gets into a fight, and the soldiers capture Arthur and his friends. They take them while making them sit in the boat, and now Arthur has reached his father's castle. He doesn't remember anything, and when they ask him to take out the sword, he goes silently to take out the sword. As he holds the sword, he was remembering his previous life, and he can also feel the power of this sword. He takes out the sword from the stone, but he can't control it as it has many powers. He gets faint, and now everyone has discovered that he is Uther's son Arthur. The soldiers take him into the prison. He was the third-born king and the castle, and people belonged to him. He has taken out the sword from the stone that has a lot of power. This news was spread everywhere and the people were happy that their real king has returned. They were against Uther's brother. Then a lady is shown who was a magician, and Uther's brother goes to Arthur in jail. He was about to bring him in front of the public and warns him to say that he isn't able to be the king, and asks him to say that you can't control this sword. We will end all of your companions if you will not do this. Everyone was there to see the King Arthur, and were happy. Now he was asked to show his powers while picking up the sword. Arthur doesn't do this because he has to save his friends. King Uther's brother gives orders to end him. Meanwhile, the magical lady mage arrives and controls all the animals with her powers. She attacks the Uther's brother's army, and other companions release Arthur and jump into the stream with the sword. They escape from there. Arthur holds the sword again and gets faint. Mage uses her powers on the sword, with which she discovers Arthur doesn't remember his past. Now she decides to send Arthur to the dark land where he can remember everything about his past. It was a dangerous place and neither a human nor a magician can stay there. Arthur faces many creatures and monsters, but he competes with them and reaches the tower. As he reaches there, the sword starts shining and Arthur remembers his past. It reveals that King Uther was losing the fight with the night demon. He tried before and flew the sword in the air. He came under the sword. Due to it, the sword hits the magician. King Uther died and his body become of stone. He has fallen into the water because of turning into a stone. Until then, Arthur has also moved far in the boat. Due to it, Uther's brother couldn't find the sword at that time. After knowing all this, he learns the skills of using a sword. but he wasn't an expert. Then he returns, and on the way Mage tells him the story. She tells firstly the magicians and humans live together calmly, but then a war starts between them that was started by King Uther's brother. He wanted to be a powerful king, and he joins with a magician. They plan to end King Uther, and the magician unlocks the power of the tower. He was winning the wars with the power of the tower. The King Uther has broken the mage tower, in which there were the powers of the magician, and he attached the sword with Uther's blood. It means Uther, then his son, and who will be related with them, will get the sword. They also tell the powers of Uther's brother will increase with the increase in the size of the tower. Once the tower will be completed, it will become difficult to stop him with the sword. Arthur and his companions meet another family, and it was the powerful family of Britain. They have a lot of weapons and an army. Arthur makes them understand cleverly that he is ready to be the king. Now they discover that Arthur is the king, and their planned target was to stop the tower to be completed. Some of Arthur's companions move to the ship on which there was the raw material of the tower. They destroy the plane and block the path. Later they set the castle of Uther's brother on fire in the city. Arthur plans to end his father's brother. This was just a trap for Arthur because Uther's brother had already discovered that he will be ended. That's why he has sent a human like him on the ship. The man who was about to shoot an arrow at him, Arthur stops him, but he has shot the arrow and the special commander of Uther's brother died. There was hustle and bustle due to it, and everyone was running here and there. The guards were chasing him and were beating Mage. Arthur picks up the sword while seeing this and ends everyone in a single jerk. King Uther's brother holds a companion of Arthur and ends him in front of him. Arthur leaves his companions at a safe place while taking them into a boat. Arthur becomes sad about this incident. He has lost his friend and throws the sword in the water, being furious. Meanwhile, the Lady of the Lake holds the sword. It is the fairy who lives in the water. It holds the sword and takes Arthur into the water while holding his hand. The fairy shows Arthur a glimpse of his future. What will happen if he will not end his father's brother while using this sword's powers? The world will be destroyed, and the fairy asks him to trust Mage and the sword, and she hands him the sword. Arthur comes out of this vision and meets a few men. They tell Arthur, everyone is liking you. There are many people who are supporting you. They want you to be the king, and the army has attacked his companions. There was a commander who says, we still have you and Mage's companions. They will end them if Arthur will not surrender. After thinking, Arthur sends his sword to their brother, and says he will come to meet after a few days. Uther's brother was considering that Arthur doesn't have a sword now, so he can't harm him, and leaves Mage, and she performs protective magic on Arthur. Arthur goes to meet his father's brother and has reached his father's castle. Uther's brother was about to end Arthur with his own sword. There was Mage's plan, and she controlled the snakes and eagles through her magic. She sends a snake to Uther's brother, and it attacks him, but to escape he hits the sword on the snake. The sword is now stuck in a pillar and only Arthur can extract it. Mage has controlled massive snakes with her powers. The snakes were attacking the castle, and the army of Arthur also attacks the castle. Uther's brother was thinking he will be defeated, so he again moves into the cave. He has called Demon Knight there and becomes Demon Knight. Now Arthur comes out with the sword. The guards in the black masks attack Arthur, but he ends everyone with his sword's power one by one. The people who have left have surrendered in front of Arthur. His father's brother has become demonic and was also powerful, and he was dominant on Arthur and attacking Arthur like he has ended Uther. Now he gets faint, and he says the same line to Arthur as he said to his brother Uther. Perhaps the sword belongs to me, says Arthur, recalling his father's fight with his brother. He becomes furious while seeing this vision. He discovers that if he wants to use the sword, he has to do his job calmly. He has to control his anger, and he has understood everything after this vision. He has control of his anger and now was using the sword nicely. His sword starts shining, and there was a fight of Arthur again, but he was attacked repeatedly and his weapon breaks. Uther's brother comes to a normal human get-up because of being hit by the sword. He dies there, and Arthur breaks the tower with the help of the power of this sword. Everything has become normal, and Arthur has become the king now. He shows his sword to everyone from a distance and everyone becomes happy. On another side, Mage was seeing this from a distance. Her mission was completed and she had delivered the sword to its rightful owner. Here the movie ends. Hope you like it.